Is the gold in Fort Knox? What if it's missing? Donald Trump and Elon Musk want to visit Fort Knox to see if the gold really is there, with Trump adding, quote, "We'll be very upset if it's not." Now, there's been a question in the gold community for years. Is the gold that's allegedly sitting in the world's vaults actually there? Is it actually gold? Is it mortgaged, quietly lent out in a system called rehypothecation? It's not a crazy question. A partial audit of Fort Knox in the 1970s found, quote, discrepancies, including melted bars. In 2020, a dozen major Chinese trust companies faced collapse when 83 tons of gold turned out to be gold-plated copper. Between 2017 and 19, JP Morgan identified at least 1,000 gold bars with forged refinery logos that were in circulation, essentially black market gold. An Australian senator recently made waves pushing their central bank to audit Australia's gold, which is nearly all held on trust in London. Now, it's well known that Fort Knox gold is low purity. Because unusual for a national gold reserve, it is made from melted coins, not mined gold. Why melted coins? Because the 8,133 metric tons in Fort Knox, allegedly, were seized from the American people by Franklin Roosevelt when he abrogated the gold standard. They are stolen goods. Now, that abrogation effectively defaulted every single contract in America right down to your landlord because they all had gold clauses, as well as most major contracts in the entire world. This was FDR's infamous Order 6102 that banned the private ownership of gold in 1933. You had to turn it in for just over half what it was worth or face up to 10 years in prison. Among the contracts this defaulted were the Liberty bonds that patriotic Americans had bought to finance World War I. These summed to roughly 5% of GDP, so about $1.5 trillion in modern terms. So that's where most of the gold in Fort Knox should have gone to ripped-off patriots. Instead, Liberty bonds were screwed, while millions of Americans had to hand over the gold for half what it was worth. It was melted down, and there remains the world's largest pile of stolen gold. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. The gold is probably there, but what happens if Fort Knox is just another Chinese Ponzi? Well, it would drive up the price of physical gold, coins, and bullion. It would catastrophically crash so-called paper gold, the highly leveraged constellation of gold-backed assets, including the $70 billion ETF GLD. These gold-backed assets trade more than 10 times all the gold in existence. Now, if Fort Knox is fake, these outfits would immediately audit their gold, which would either calm the storm or accelerate it if they too are short. More important, fear would spread whether other government numbers are accurate. What else is not audited? This could conceivably crash the price of U.S. Treasuries, which are the reserve currency asset, the liquidity of the entire global financial system. It'd be even worse for countries in Europe, Asia, or Latin America who enjoy even less public confidence in their governments. After all, if the Pope is a fraud, what to make of your local padre? So the gold is probably there. If it isn't, things could get very interesting. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.